Mike, Spurs v Ajax, a huge game for Dutch football. What are your first thoughts and feelings looking ahead to the game?
Well, first of all, it's just exciting. I'm very excited to see how Ajax can get on. I think it's a great chance for them to reach the final. I think they're never going to get this chance again. And I'm just really hoping that Ajax can play like they did away against Real Madrid and Juventus, because I think if they do that, then they're going to give themselves a big advantage on Tuesday.
That's true. And Spurs played at the weekend and lost 1-0 to West Ham. It's looking good in terms of Spurs' form. It's dropping slightly. That give Ajax an advantage, do you think?
I think it gives them an advantage in the fact that they've had more time to prepare. I think some of the players that Tottenham did play on Saturday, did look a bit tired, and some of them looked out of form, which I think's all good for Ajax, considering they had time to rest some of their players that were maybe getting to the stage of tiredness, like Frankie de Jong really was, you know, not looking too great in the last couple of matches fitness wise, and a few others. So I think that extra time is going to be a big advantage for Ajax.
And Mauricio Pochettino, he spoke about how unhappy he was with the fixtures being moved for Ajax, but not for Spurs. But at the end of the day, how much bigger is Spurs' budget than Ajax's? Isn't that surely a bigger injustice?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot's been made of the KMVB moving these matches, but not a lot's been said that it's a big public holiday in the Netherlands right now. It's King's Day, and that was really the reason behind it. The KMVB didn't just cancel this match and go, "Oh, we're just going to give Ajax an advantage." They wanted to move it to earlier in the weekend. They wanted to move it to Friday and then Saturday, but because the police were dealing with festivities, they couldn't do that. I think it's just a bit of moaning on Pochettino's side. I mean, he played early on Saturday. It still gives them enough time to prepare. And I think if it was the other way around, I don't think Pochettino would be saying, "No, this is really unfair on Ajax." I think it's just a case of, a bit of sour grapes from his side.
They've had a week to prepare Ajax, but how much big of a difference is that going to make? I mean, Spurs have spoken about how tired they've been. Pochettino was saying, when the stress arrives, when the fatigue arrives, that is the reality, We're a very competitive team when we are full with energy, but of course, when the stress and the fatigue arrives, we're competing with circumstances that are not the best. Now, I don't watch Spurs on a regular basis, but who do you think is more likely to be more fatigued, and is that going to make a bit of a difference in this match?
I think so. I think if you looked at, I watched some of the game on Saturday, and the way that West Ham scored and the way they created chances was the speed in behind. I think Antonio a couple of times got in behind the defence, he's using pace. Some of the defenders looked a bit tired, a bit leggy. Eric Dyer's just back from an injury. I think he got a lot of flack for his performance. And they don't really have a lot of pace up front, considering that Son's going to be out and it's going to be Llorente, so it's going to be a different type of game that they play, and I think that will hopefully drop into Ajax's hands. And if they can get the likes of Neres on the ball running at the Tottenham defence, then I think that can be a big advantage, because I think some of their players are going to be a bit leggy. I think Ajax is going to be fresh and ready to go. I think, as I said earlier, the likes of Frankie de Jong, who's looking a bit tired in the last couple of matches, Dusan Tadic, maybe a little bit of drop off from him, but I think they're all going to be raring to go on Tuesday. I think it's a Champions League night. You can't really bring tiredness into it. I think the excitement is also, it's a big match. It's really two one-off games that anything can really happen. And I don't think tiredness, I think it'll all be about mental stability on both sides.
That's true. It's just one of those where you just carry on through it because it's such a big moment, and the excitement of it all just kind of gets rid of the fatigue. You said about how Spurs are maybe going to struggle without Son, Sissoko, Kane. But with Llorente in the box, he's a big aerial threat. That's a different challenge that Ajax have got to face this time, because they don't usually get big strikers in the Eredivisie, and they also didn't get too much of it against Juventus or Real Madrid. It's a very different style of play, and when Spurs beat Borussia Dortmund 3-0, all three goals that Spurs scored came from crosses. Are Ajax well equipped to deal with that? I mean, De Ligt is obviously a monster in the air, but if you're facing that time and again, is this going to be a really different challenge that Ajax have got to contend with?
Yeah, but I don't see it as a different challenge, because I think that in a way Juventus played like that. If you look at the two goals that Ronaldo scored, they're both headers from crosses, and both times he was left unmarked. And if they do that, against Tottenham and leave Llorente with these chances, he's going to be their big danger. And you need to make sure that De Ligt is on Llorente at all times, and he can't get matched up with Daley Blind or Tagliafico, who are much smaller. So basically, man marking Llorente with De Ligt, winning those aerial battles is going to be crucial for this game, I think.
And how do you think Ajax can use their weapons to beat Spurs? What do you think their main sort of weapons are going to be?
I think I've seen it all the way through. I think it's their pace and build-up play on the counter-attack. I think once Frankie de Jong gets the ball, if he can skip past a couple of midfielders, then Ajax can get breakaways, and that's going to be crucial. I think getting Tadic and Ziyech chances around the box, like they did against Juventus and like they did against Real Madrid. That's the way Ajax are going to win this one. It's just through sheer pace and their breaking style and just the play of football, the way they play on the counter-attack.
What are your thoughts, Mike, on the players that are with Ajax now? Because everyone's sort of saying that, oh, it's going to get taken apart in the summer and it's like Monaco from previous years. But how many of these players do you think are likely to leave? We spoke about it a little bit in the podcast, but a lot of the media are coming on to this player's going to go here, this player's going to go there. But at the end of the day, isn't it just going to be Frenkie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt, and then a couple of others, and that might be it? Or is it going to be most of this starting 11 leaves?
It's difficult to say. I think that if you look at it, there's certain players that are certain to go, like your De Ligts, maybe your Hakim Ziyechs, and there's players that are going to get constantly linked with moves to other clubs. I think Donny van de Beek's going to get linked to a lot of clubs in the summer. It just depends if these moves actually happen or if it's just paper talk. Because if somebody like PSG does come in, offers Ajax 40 million for Donny van de Beek, it's probably going to turn his head. I think he can go. It's wait and see, because I think that a lot of these players, especially if Ajax do get to the final, and say if they did win it, a lot of these players are going to wonder what they can achieve with Ajax going forward, and I think that's going to facilitate these other clubs to come in, because I think Ajax is going to be the ones that all these big teams look at and go, right, who can we have from there? And then one by one, they could pick them off, and then it's only going to be a few of them that are going to stay. Maybe the Onanas, who's committed to his future. Mazraoui probably will stay, but then somebody could come in and make a 40-50 million pound bid for Dusan Tadic, and that's just going to get accepted. It's just the way it has to happen. It's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And so many of these players could see themselves now that if they win everything with Ajax, if they can get this far in the Champions League, win the cup, that is probably going to be the maximum they can achieve with Ajax, and that leads to just more players maybe having their heads turned by other clubs where they could earn more money. Now, Mike, last thing before we finish, what do you think the score's going to be? What's your prediction for Tottenham against Ajax?
I really think Ajax need to take advantage of the fact that they don't have Son. I think he's going to be their main danger man in the second leg, where I think maybe Tottenham will play on the counter-attack. They did against Borussia Dortmund. He was crucial in the game against Manchester City as well. So if Ajax want to get through, I think they need to come away with this game. It's a massive, massive chance for them to come away with this one for a win. I'm going to go 2-1 Ajax.
Yeah, I think the pressure's on Ajax to have to win in London, to take back to Amsterdam, because they've just been so brilliant away from home in the Champions League that I think that needs to continue. Maybe that puts too much pressure on them, though. The fact they have to make the most of this first match, because in Amsterdam they always do concede in the Champions League at home. So I don't know. I think Spurs are going to be a threat in the air and will definitely score. It's just whether Ajax are going to be potent enough on the counter-attack and can settle down quickly enough into the match, because I'm sure there'll be some nerves that kick in. But the fact that they're at this stage of the competition. But yeah, you say 2-1. I think it's going to be a draw for the first leg. I think it's going to be 1-1, but I think Spurs might just edge it on the night and be the better team. And then we'll just have to see what happens in Amsterdam. Mike, thanks for joining me. And yeah, all the best to Ajax. And what's going to be a special night for Dutch football.
Come on, Ajax.